Harrisonburg, Virginia, home to James Madison, father of the Constitution, and mother of some of the most electric crowds in all of college football when they come out to support the Dukes. Today, a showdown of a couple of foes from the Sun Belt, as we'll see a team fresh and ready to go off a bye week, the UL Monroe Warhawks, taking on the James Madison Dukes. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Reese Davis, David Pollack, and Jesse Palmer with me. Guys, it's time to get it going. The Dukes will kick it away to start us off. Let's see if he can make a play on the return. Didn't find any crease in that kickoff coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17. The Warhawks offense will have the first possession of the game. And here's the man they rally around, and he has earned that type of respect, David.
You dang right. You earn it by doing it, and he's done it at such a high level. Everyone believes in this young man, and Palmer, there's a reason why.
You're right, David. He's been in the big moments, and he's won the big games. This guy delivers when the game is on the line.
And now to try to put things in motion on 2nd and long from the 15. The give to the tailback. And they try to run inside, and there is nowhere to go. This defense has kept them backed up. Now one more stop, and they can get off the field on 3rd and long. From the gun, wants to pass. Zings it complete to the right. And sure, tackling there to keep them from getting to the first down marker. The Warhawks will send out the punt unit. This will be their first punt of the afternoon. Fair catch called for and taken at the 30-yard line. The Dukes offense taking the field for a chance we have to see them today. As we take a look at our impact players for this one, what are you looking for, Jesse, for a guy to make an impact?
Well, these are simply put the leaders of this football team, and generally games go how these guys play. If they make plays, then they've got a shot to win this one.
No doubt. They got to show up. These are the team leaders. These guys have to play well if they're going to win the football game.
And this junior quarterback shows you why the scouts love that big arm of his. Finds the tight end. At the 35, he's loose. And he was loose and in the open field and on his way. A tremendous pickup on that one.
As a defense, it's so hard covering this guy. Because of his frame, you're not really going to match up. But this guy's also got some wheels. The hard part is bringing him down after the catch.
And the ball is free on the pitch. Oh, the fumble, and the defense got it. He pulled it and kept it on the option, but he couldn't keep it away from the defense.
I think the QB made the right decision not to pitch it. He needs to do a better job with ball security. The defense, they were able to get and swarm to him quickly and dislodge the football from his body.
I like feeding my guy. I like getting my running back touches, feeding the ball so he can break some of those big runs. But I'm also okay with these little ones. Set the tone, stay balanced.
Looks as if the defense was a little too eager there, got into the neutral zone, and that'll be a 5-yard penalty. Defense just a little too eager, and that's 5 yards for the O. Here's a quick throw out to the left. Knocked down at the 47. It's a 5-yard gain and enough to move the chains. They'll snap it from the 47 on 1st down. And it's incomplete, but the penalty flag has fallen in the holding zone. Let's see what the call is. Amazing how many times an offensive holding penalty will stall a drive. We'll see if the offense can overcome it. On the run, fires downfield. Got his man. Tripped up for the tackle. Let's see what they've got on 2nd down. He's looking to throw. He's got his man. And this one will be stopped for no gain. Ball just inside the 40 at the 39. It's 3rd and short. They'll try to power their way ahead. He gets the job done on 3rd down. They move the chains. It's at the 37. And the Warhawks have their offense in high gear. The give from the gun. And they try the middle of this stout defense, and they rise to the challenge. They got nothing on the last play. It's 2nd and 10. He's looking to throw. Out of the backfield, he's open. And the defense had that one well covered, just a short gain there. A 3rd and long coming up here. Here's the snap, looking to throw. Safe completion on the screen. Fights off a defender. He steps out of bounds, but it will be enough for a 1st down. The Warhawks come to the line with a fresh set of downs. From the gun, give on the inside. And he's able to find a little bit of running room before they get him down. Got 8 on 1st down, now looking at a 2nd and 2. He's looking to throw. He's got his man. Finally pulled down, but not before moving the chains for a 1st down.
Nice completion here to this wide receiver, and you're going to see this receiver line up in different spots all over the field all game long. Defense has got to keep their eye on where this guy is because they know he's a big part of this offense's success.
It's 1st and 10 from the 13. He's going to pass. Finds his big tight end. That completion will take it close to the 5-yard line. They'll mark it at the 6. They got him to jump. The defense got into the neutral zone, and that'll be a 1st down.
Encroachment. Defense.
So the early contact for the defense, and they'll move it up 5 yards. Quick pass on the jet motion. Can't quite cross the plane to get the 6, but they'll have the 1st down. Defense rolling out the big bodies to try to stuff the run. Keeping it on the ground on 1st and goal. He's brought down, but there's a flag on the play. Let's see if it stands.
Hold it. Offense.
We'll repeat the previous down, but this time the offense has 10 more yards it has to cover. Wide receiver coming across in motion. Touch pass on the run. Nice, solid form tackle from this sophomore. Defense rose up deep in its own end on that last play. Now a 2nd and long coming. He's looking to throw. Ball into the end zone, and it's intercepted. And the offense makes the tackle in frustration after the interception. Drive comes up empty, and it's a turnover.
Defensive backs have tough jobs. I mean, you think about whether you play nickel, whether you play dime, whatever it is, you put more DBs on the field. It's more speed. It's more guys that can cover, but they also got to cover that ground. But to cover the ground and make the pick, a lot of times you don't see that. Superb effort by that guy.
A lot of field in front of them as they open this possession from their own 20. They'll leave it with him. He's run out of bounds, but a big play on that one, and it'll be a 1st down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. We've reached the end of the 1st quarter, and it has been a defensive battle, and the stats tell the tale so far. Let's see if the offenses can find a little rhythm here in the 2nd. Lining up from the 34 on 1st down. He'll pull it on the read. Pass the sticks and still on his feet. What a nifty run there to pick up the 1st down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. To the ground with the back. He's brought down, but there's a flag on the field. Let's see which way that's going to go.
Hold it. Offense.
They say you could call holding on every play. Well, they did on that one. Off play action on 1st down. It's complete. And they'll finally bring him down after he rips off a huge play. From the gun, he leaves it with the back. What a good run there. He has enough for the 1st down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. Pulls and fires it complete to the right. Got some room headed to the goal line. He'll be stopped just short of the end zone, but they'll have it first and goal.
Well, you're seeing the balance this offense has and how they can create explosive plays in a variety of ways. We just saw one come in the run game, and now you see one coming in the passing game. I'll tell you, they've got this defense on their heels.
And he rolls into the house. Touchdown, Dukes! Now that's the way to bail out the rest of the team. Start with bad field position and put together a drive anyway.
And very confident. You could see the quarterback just had a bit of a swagger, Reese. He was like, look, all right, we're starting deep in our own end. Special teams didn't help us out, but we can fix that right now, fellas. They went out and looked so good on that last drive.
Now they'll line up for what they hope is automatic. And with the extra point, they get the first 7 of the game. Let's go to the studio now and check in with Kevin Connors. Kevin, what do you got?
A bit of an under-the-radar game this week, guys, but take a look at this. Missouri is just boat racing them right now, thanks to an offense that's putting up video game numbers. They're up 14 over Florida. We promise to keep you posted on what goes down in this exciting college football matchup.
Thanks for the update on that one, Kevin. Let us know when it goes final. And the explosiveness, the big gainer gets it to the 49-yard line. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. Finally, this offense starting to shake the cobwebs and get things moving. It's 1st and 10. Looking to move it through the air. Finds his tight end. And that was some kind of collision between a couple of big bodies there, and he stopped from getting the first down. Takes a handoff, and he's going right. Nowhere to run on that one. He loses 4 on the carry. They'll try to move the chains on this 3rd and long from the 50. He'll set up to throw. They've got the screen set up. And he'll step out of bounds after a very productive play. And the Warhawks send out the punt unit. This will be the 2nd time they've had to kick it away. Able to keep them from getting a return, and the ball goes out of bounds. They're going to mark it right around the 20. Guys, James Madison ready to go back on the attack. Got the first down and more. And he put his foot in the ground and turned it upfield and turned it into a big play. Great decision to keep it. On the option. Now the pitch. At midfield, he's got room. A tremendous run. He was full bore after taking that pitch. Just sweet execution. They go to the ground. Discards a man. And that play just looked to be a mess from the snap, and he's run out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage. So the decision has been made, and the coach will take the penalty. So after the penalty, a little extra ground to cover on 1st down. On the option. The pitch. And he has a solid gain before the defense bottles him up. 2nd down coming up. Trying play action. Moving away from pressure.
Well, great job there by the defense because they weren't able to get him sacked right away, but you saw the coverage in the back end. Nowhere for the quarterback to throw the football. Didn't get the sack, obviously. You don't get the negative play, but you also don't give up a big one. You're feeling pretty good about where you are.
And this sophomore able to wreak some havoc and get the sack.
And those outside linebackers nowadays, they're so fast. They got to cover ground, but you can blitz them off the edge, and they can get after quarterbacks. Versatile. That's why they're getting drafted so high in the NFL and getting paid all that money.
The Dukes will try to pin them back with the punt. First punt of the day, and he'd love to lock them up close to their goal line. Able to get the first one of the day away. They did have to send him out 3 times in that victory last week. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. UL Monroe has it back in the offense, ready to go to work. David, the punter got some work last time. They'd like to keep him on the sidelines in this drive.
Yeah, it's not something you want to say very often. You don't want the punter out there. This offense needs to get back lathered up and get a little bit more of a rhythm.
Best way to do that, identify where your best players are and just get them the football. Give these guys some touches to kickstart this offense.
Picked up 2 yards on that last one. They need 8 on second down. Out of the gun to give to the back. Very useful run there to get away from the goal line. He'll pick up 4 out to the 6. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. 3rd and short. They've got them back up inside the 20, and the D can get the ball back here. From the gun, wants to pass. He makes a catch. And the defense makes the immediate tackle, but he has enough for the first down. Firing to the right, complete.
This quarterback right now is in a groove, and he's doing a nice job in pre-snap. He's reading the coverage, and he's getting an idea of where he wants to go with the football. That's why the ball's coming out of his hands so quickly, and that's why he seems like he's in a great rhythm.
Works ahead for a couple. They'll stop him at the 27. Bully ball on 3rd and short. They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one. Quick timeout by the defense there, trying to make sure everyone has the same call. The Warhawks decide to punt it away. Not able to pop the big return, but they've got the ball back and ready to go with a fresh possession. They're going to open this drive with a pass. A strike downfield. They make the stop, but the sweet pull and catch is plenty to give them a first down. He's looking to throw it. Fires to the wideout. Complete downfield. Put it right on him. Sweet play. Good pickup, and they'll move the chains with the first down. The give to the running back from the shotgun. And he's knocked down, but there's also a flag that's been dropped. Let's check on the call.
Hold it, offense.
Just an obvious holding call there, and one that just kills an offense's momentum. Snap in the shotgun. What a snag by the defense. Bringing it back. The 20. Inside the 10. Touchdown, Warhawks. A great return for the touchdown. Any return for a touchdown is a great one to a defense. This time it's the defense finding ways to put points on the board.
There is nothing better than being a defender. Seeing that ball in the end zone, your eyes get big as saucers. Go, jump on that puppy, secure it, get you a touchdown.
They'll try to tack one more on their score. Splits the uprights. They got the late touchdown on the board, now about to kick it away and hoping the defense can keep them from answering. And he takes this from inside the 5. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. James Madison sends the offense back onto the field. Feeling some heat. Got it set up on the outside. Moves it out to the 34-yard line. A nice 15-yard gain on that one. The offense will quickly use a timeout. Comes out throwing on first down. How about that play to get a hand in there and force the incompletion? Ball still on the 34 after the incompletion. Let's see if they throw it again on 2nd and 10. He looks that one in nicely. And that defense doesn't allow a cutback, and they get him out of bounds after a short gain. 3rd and long, and he'll try to throw for it. Excellent coverage and good use of the hands to knock it away. And the Dukes will call on their punt team. This will be the second time they've had to kick it away. They're able to put a stop to that return right at the 30-yard line. Guys, we'll see what this Warhawk offense can get done this time. Trying to start the drive with a pass. Not in lockstep there with the receiver. And here comes the offense on second down. He's looking to throw. And the pass is incomplete thanks to a big hit. Now this offense facing a 3rd and long from their own 30. From the gun, wants to pass. Quick strike complete. Timeout is called, and it's the defense wanting to make sure that everyone's on the same page for this big down. And the Warhawks will punt it away on 4th down. He's getting a lot of work, 4th time he's punted tonight. Here's the fair catch, and he'll make it close to the 20-yard line. Just a few seconds remaining here as they try to put something up before halftime. Takes the handoff. It's Pitts. Good, solid, determined run there. They'll mark him down at the 27. I'm not really sure what the thought process here is other than just trying to troll them by not running a play. That's the end of the second quarter. That means it's time to join Kevin and our halftime update.
Fellas, you've had yourselves a great broadcast so far today in Harrisonburg. And it'd be easy to say these two offenses are glad we've hit halftime based on their respective performances. It would also be accurate. Turnovers and sacks have told the story so far. And you gotta believe the play calling has been the issue, right? Time to shred those game plans and just get back to basics. And with that, let's head back to the guys at Bridgeford Stadium.
The Warhawks will kick it away to start the second half. The returner will field it and try to get some field position. He was hoping for something a little more dynamic, that they get him on the ground at the 20. Guys, James Madison ready to go back on the attack. First drive of the second half, always fun to watch. You see what type of tweaks were made at the half, especially when you hit the afterburners, kid. And he's brought down, but a flag is also down.
Holding, offense.
Holding penalties, the ultimate drive killer. We'll see if it costs this offense here. Rumbles ahead for 6 and all the way out to the 16. So after the first down run, here's second down. He's looking to throw. And this sophomore able to wreak some havoc and get the sack.
And the defense comes up with the sacks. And this defense has been dialed in all day. Really, really good job. This offense is going to have to find something different, do something to try to stretch this D and make them feel uncomfortable.
Not exactly the ideal situation for this offense. 3rd and long, back up inside their 20. He's looking downfield to throw. Fires to the middle. Got his man downfield. And they were looking for a chunk play, and they got it. The explosive picks up more than 30.
And the quarterback knew exactly where he wanted to go with the football. Had time, spins the ball deep. Nice job by this offense, understanding what the defense is giving them and creating the explosive play.
They can rely on this guy to pick up solid yardage when they need it, and he's out to the 43. After trying the running game, let's see if they do it again on second down. Motion trying to get the defense to show its hands. Got it behind the line. It's Pitts. And they wrap him up, but not before he's got enough for the first down. The Dukes are on the move. They'll ride the running back and leave it with him. And they'll bring him to the ground after a short gain. Got 3 on first down at 2nd and 7. Now the play fake. Got his man quickly. And he scoots his way to the first down and then slides to avoid the hit. And the Dukes come to the line with a new set of downs. The give to the back. They work that running game down to the 34. Let's give him 3 on the carry. After the 3-yard pickup, they come to the line 2nd and 7. He's looking to throw. Quickly complete. He's there to make the stop, and they threw it in reverse, losing yardage on that play. On 3rd and long, he's going to have to throw for it. And he can't find a receiver, and down he goes. The #1 job is to protect your quarterback, and they weren't able to do it long enough that time.
This offensive line, Reese, they've got to do a better job communicating pre-snap and try and figure out which people on defense are going to be rushing the passer. Right now, this offense just looks confused up front.
So they're going to send out the field goal unit to try a long one. He says he can kick one from 75, but here he's going to need just 58 of them. Absolutely perfect. And guys, after the field goal, now they have the lead.
Well, that kid just showed off his hammer for a leg, 50-plus, and he did it with ease.
After putting up a 3-spot, the kickoff unit set to go. Looks like he's going to try to return it. And the returner could find no daylight. He goes down. Monroe has it back in the offense, ready to go to work. Pulls and fires complete. And that is good versatility there, and a big hit from the backer in pass coverage. Wide receiver shows motion. Quick pass on the fly motion. And maybe he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that. They're about to wear this punter out. He's already been out 4 times, staring at a 5th if they can't move the chains. Receiver looks it in, it's complete. And the Warhawks line up to punt it away. They may have to pay him overtime. He's punting for the 5th time today. Another punt on the way. Got to make sure those hammies and glutes all activated. Don't want any muscle pulls from overuse. He was hoping for a little more running room, but they're able to get him down at the 45. Here comes the option. Now the pitch. And he's going to be taken down, but there's a penalty flag on the field.
Hold it. Offense.
That penalty moves the ball back 10 yards. We'll replay the down. On first down, here comes this offense. Goes to the option. He's dropped behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of 3. Offense gets set for second down. Pulls and throws off the RPO. And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play, able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage. On 3rd and long, no secret what he needs here. And he's not going to get there. The defense stands tall and makes the stop. The Dukes will line up to punt it away. A fairly short distance here toward the sidelines, not his best work. First down for this offense. From the gun, leaves it on the inside with the back. That's what you expect from a senior. Don't give them any extra yards. Great tackle there. Didn't get much on first down. It's 2nd and 9. He's looking to throw. Get it out on the screen. Makes one man miss. Makes the grab, and it's enough for the first down before he's dragged to the ground. And now a fresh set of downs for this offense. They'll throw it on first down. Snags it over the middle.
And that's a great example of this quarterback having intense confidence in his own arm talent. That was not an easy window to throw into, but he had the ability, and he knew it.
One more period to go to see who can make the winning plays and come home with the victory. Here comes the offense on second down. They'll go to the ground. And they'll stop him after a minimal pickup. What they would give to help their kicker out with a few yards on third down. From here, it will be a 55-yarder. Now they're really starting to threaten as they pick up the first down at the 34-yard line. The Warhawks are moving quickly down the field. He'll come out throwing on first down. He's got an open man. He's brought down, but there's a flag on the field. Let's see what the call is.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense.
A late hit moves the ball up 15 yards. The offense comes back out with a new set of downs after the penalty. He wants it all. Touchdown, UL Monroe. They move on top here in the fourth.
And some of these guys make it look so easy, but these are tight windows down here, man. There's not a lot of space on the field, and he drops back, knows exactly where he's going with the football, throws it in there, makes the play, and more importantly, now his team is in the lead in the fourth quarter.
They'll try to add another to their lead. And the extra point is good, and every point counts. It's now a 4-point lead in the fourth. We check in with Kevin Connors. What's going on, Kevin?
Week in and week out, guys, you never know what's going to happen in college football. Check this out. Missouri is up big right now in what's shaping up to be a blowout they'll remember in Columbia for some time. They're up by 24 over Florida. We've got our eye on this one and everything else going on throughout the day, guys.
Oh, and how about that? I know Kevin and those guys will be keeping an eye on it for us. Pre-snap motion in the backfield. And maybe they want to try somewhere else because there is nothing doing in the middle of this defense. Now facing a 3rd and long. And the incomplete pass will bring up 4th down. And the Dukes will punt this one away. 4th time tonight we've seen this guy come on to punt. He was hoping for a little more running room, but they're able to get him down at the 45. Guys, we'll see what this Warhawk offense can get done this time. The give to the back. And a decent gain there before the defense makes the stop. 6-yard pickup on 1st down leaves him with 2nd and 4. He's looking to throw. And it'll be incomplete. This is some physical pass defense. 3rd and short from the 49. Is this 4-down territory? From the gun, wants to pass. He's got it. They've got the defense reeling right now with that big play to the 29. And the Warhawks with the 1st and 10. Power football with the run. They pull him down after a 4-yard gain down to the 24. After the productive 1st down play at 2nd and 6. He's looking to throw. They're trying to get to him. He's got it. Couldn't quite nudge it in. Not sure you could get much closer, but it'll be 1st and goal. And this defense has to step forward. Not only do they have to... And makes the grab in the end zone. Touchdown, Warhawks. That one puts them in really good shape to get back on the right track and get another W.
And how about this play by the offense? 1st and goal from the 1-yard line. Everything says it's going to be a run. It's going to be a run. Nice job by the offense. A little sleight of hand, throwing the football, getting the touchdown.
Lining up to add another.
Is on for the extra point.
And the extra point is up and good, and they have an 11-point 4th quarter lead. About to kick it off after punching it in for the touchdown.
James Madison, 10.
And he'll return it and try to get behind his blockers. He was hoping for something a little more dynamic, but they get him on the ground at the 20. James Madison sends the offense back onto the field. Fires to the big fella.
And everything's going to have to be downfield. That's a nice start to this drive, but they're going to need to score, get the ball back quickly, and score again.
They'll go to the counter. And he's ridden to the ground, but there's also a flag down. Let's check the call.
Illegal flag in the back. Offense.
The officials offer the deal, and the coach accepts it. They will take the penalty. On 2nd down, wants to throw it. Lets it fly on the move. And he reels it in inside the 30. A huge play there as he has it inside the 20 at the 19. The option look. He'll toss it. And now on second down for this offense. He's knocked down in the backfield. He'll lose a couple. They line up with some serious work to do if they want to convert this one. He'll ride his man on the option. And he's not going to make it. The defense denying him the first down. Down by multiple possessions. You can't come up empty on this drive. They'll go for it on fourth down. Pocket starts to collapse. Not a lot of room there. He'll pick up a few before he's forced out of bounds. And they are stopped on fourth down. That decision will be questioned. They'll run it, trying to drain time off the clock. Finds his way ahead for 3 out to the 16. Time is on their side, and they're going to wind that play clock all the way down. From the shotgun, they'll run it. Ran to that daylight to pick up 6 to the 22. They'll need to convert this third down from their own 22 to get this drive jump-started. They'll try to bully their way for the first. They thought they could just run it on third and short, but this defense was there to make the stop. Fourth down, and the punt team sends it the other way. Not going to risk a return here. Calls for the fair catch and makes it just around the 30-yard line. Guys, James Madison ready to go back on the attack. They're bringing heat. And this sophomore able to wreak some havoc and get the sack. They'll hurry to the line with the clock still running. On second down, he'll fire. Caught in the backfield, it's Stokes. They finally get him stopped, but what a good job by that front wall to set up the screen and create some lanes for their running back. Give to the running back. And they'll wrestle him to the ground after a short gain. They'll try to kick it into overdrive. Clock's running, second down coming. The RPO, fire complete to the left. They make the stop, but there is a flag on the field. We'll see what that's all about. So the decision has been made, and the coach will take the penalty. They'll line up for a second down play. Leaves it with the back. And a nice solid pickup there before the defense wrestles him to the ground. Got to get to the line quickly for this third down play. From the gun, wants to pass. Fires to the middle. Wide open downfield. And they got the defense on that one, and they get it to the 29-yard line. The offense gets a quick timeout. At this point, every second is precious. It's complete on the right side. And the defense stops him just short of the first down. Maybe needed a few more chain links to move the sticks. Quickly gets everyone set. They spike it to stop the clock. A manageable distance on third down as they try to convert from the 20. Pre-snap motion, quarterback trying to get a read. Using the back as a receiver on the screen. They stripped it out. And they put it on the deck, but it gets out of bounds to avoid the turnover. And you know the standard is indisputable video evidence, and the officials will change the call. Quick release by the QB. Timeout called by the offense. Clock stopped with 21 seconds left. On second down, looking again to throw. Into the end zone. Got it. He stopped just short of the goal line, but they'll have it first and goal from the 1. Got to get everyone set. They spike it to stop the clock. They'll try it again from the 1 on second and goal. He's looking to throw. He caught it, and he will score. Touchdown, James Madison.
And that sure feels like too little, too late. This offense, they needed to score and execute faster, but there's not enough time to me, man. This feels like this one's over.
So maybe just to make the final score look a little better, they'll go for 2 here. Let's take on a pig, anybody? On the option. Great move there. He gets it in from the 2-point conversion, and now they trail by only 3. First things first, they have to recover the onside kick, and then they'll have time for probably just 1 play. They'd hope to get that thing bouncing around, but the hands team is able to corral it. Their work here is virtually done. No need to take any more chances. They'll line up in victory formation. The quarterback takes a snap and takes a knee. Sometimes it's just not your day. Things just didn't work, and that seemed to be the case here.
Yeah, they didn't get the W. They didn't do enough. But now you start to think about what could I have done differently? What do I need to become more offensively? Defensively, what can I morph into to make those extra plays, Jesse? That might be the difference in the next game that I play.
Yeah, David, they just need a little bit more. They need a little bit better effort next week. They're going to need better preparation this week in practice. There's no doubt this team has a lot of talent, but we just need a little bit more to ensure that this doesn't happen next week.
So that's going to do it for us. For Jesse Palmer, David Pollack, I'm Reese Davis saying so long. This has been another presentation of EA Sports College Football.